Uta Hagen here of Trans Widow Uta Hagen YouTube channel with a bouquet of phlox and Jowie Winnie dahlias. I'm very proud to say that I have doubled the Jowie Winnie dahlias because I divided the bulbs last fall when I dug them up. Oh, I love the way the sunshine, the light comes in the window and shines on those white ones. They're absolutely luminescent. Of course, I've got my other bouquet of coneflowers and rudbeckia. And I'm just going to point out this is a painting made from a photograph of the young Uta in about 1975 at the age of 18. This is a Norwegian folk style painting called Rosemalling, and this is a wall hanging called a glockenstring, which my father embroidered. My mother didn't do that stuff. My father took it on, ordered the kits, even though he was not of Norwegian background. And he made one for each of us and one for them. So that's at least six. He might have made more. I just wanted to just point out those things that are in the wall behind me in my recording studio, which I call the red chair room. I don't know what I'll do when I need to reupholster this chair. I've had it for 15 years or something. It's very comfortable. All right. Now, to the odious topic, which I have comments on, which is this character who his given name is Christopher Tyson, and he worked for James Donaldson, who is also known as MrBeast. They have millions of followers on their YouTube channel. And this individual, Tyson, decided a while ago that he, despite fathering a young child, and oh, there's a hummingbird outside. Okay, I'm not going to be able to catch that. Anyway, of course, I want to distract myself from this horrible topic. Anyway, because he inappropriately has contacted teens and is now fired from the MrBeast crew. You can look up MrBeast yourself, give them some downvotes on their YouTube videos. It's some kind of a show giving away money for children or something. I don't really understand. Parents, don't have your children watching things streamed on YouTube. It's just not a good idea. Get yourselves out, do things outside. Your children need to talk to you. They need that back and forth. I knew when I was teaching kindergarten that when I put the smart board on, because I was required to use this fancy piece of equipment that had been, I think, given by Apple to the New York City Department of Education. I had to use it. I had to show the books on that screen. And as soon as those kids, no matter how engaging I was, no matter how animated I was, as you might imagine, they would just fall into this slumped posture of television watching. So all of that is just not to be recommended. As a matter of fact, I would even say don't watch the Disney Channel, don't watch anything except documentaries on the television. And as a matter of fact, what I used to do when I was teaching science is I would turn off the sound and narrate the documentaries myself so that I could be doing it at the children's level. Now, this is when I taught kindergarten and first grade science along with doing remedial math. And then later I taught kindergarten. Prior to that, I taught pre-K. So therefore, I am a developmental expert of some kind. Therefore, I can tell you that this influence of MrBeast is detrimental. Now, this is the statement that MrBeast, aka James Donaldson, the boss of the autogynophile creep who has a young child and an ex-wife already. I don't even think he's 30 yet. This is the boss at MrBeast. He says, over the last few days, I've become aware of the serious allegations of Ava Tyson's behavior online. Now, Christopher Tyson decided when he took on a female persona to rename himself Ava Kris, and then he spelled Chris with a K. And I am disgusted and opposed to such unacceptable acts. During that time, James Donaldson continues, I have been focused on hiring an independent third party to conduct a thorough investigation to ensure I have all the facts. He's moving to protect himself and to prove that he didn't know about Tyson's contact with mostly teenage boys, it seems. That said, James Donaldson continues, I've seen enough online and taken immediate action to remove Chris/Ava from the company, my channel, and any association with MrBeast. I do not condone or support any of the inappropriate actions. Okay, I will allow the independent investigators the necessary time to conduct a comprehensive investigation and will take any further actions based on their findings. So, now we go back to the message on X. It seems all of this is just communicated on X. There's no in-person press conferences or anything like that. So this is the post from Christopher Tyson, aka Ava Kris with a K. He says, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. This is a pretty wishy-washy apology to start with. He's not saying much about the fact that he does accept contacting minors, sending something that you call noods, NOODS. This dude is really not an adult, and he's fathered a child. Okay, then Christopher Tyson continues, seeing recent events, we've mutually decided, okay, next day, the boss made it clear that he fired him, but prior to that, Tyson says they mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. B and social media to focus on my family and mental health. I wonder if any focus on his mental health will involve going over his early childhood time, going back to pre-operational and concrete operational stages of development to figure out whether perhaps his unconscious is trying to have a do-over and return to that stage because something happened where he was not protected appropriately as a child. Why else would he be approaching teen boys with weird suggestions and playing games with them online, etc., even meeting some of them, I think, in person? Okay. So there were these YouTubers, Breone, BREONE, and Prism42, which you can find yourself on YouTube. They accused Tyson of sending sexually explicit jokes to them when they were teenagers. as young as 14. Okay, and this was shown with the actual proof in the messaging um, from the time. Oh, and when one of these people, one of these dudes, was 14, Tyson was 20. So Tyson was barely an adult himself. Okay. Um, okay, so he did meet with a 13-year-old during a giveaway of the MrBeast team. And in 2019, when this kid was 15, this is from at Drama Alert on Twitter, X. He joked about selling these noods, NOODS, which I guess are drawings. There's somebody out there, I forget the horrible name of the person, but there's some kind of mysterious person who always wears a mask who does realistic drawings of children, young children, without clothes on and in sexually suggestive poses. And that is apparently what Tyson has purchased and at one time had on his wall in a picture that was posted publicly. Okay, and yeah, the quote is to this boy, I posted some fine, this is where he spells noods, NOODS, for you, please no share. You know, as soon as somebody says please no share or PLS no share, you need to call your parents. And parents, why are you letting your 14-year-old stay up at night such that he says to Tyson, the only thing keeping me awake right now is your messages. Now, this kid obviously needed to go do his algebra homework. This is something that I always say. Back when I used to answer the trolls, I used to say, go do your homework and get to bed. You are clearly a teenager. I know. I raised two of them. A teenage boy. Uh, all right. Yep. And so, this goes back a few years, but I'm wondering how many others will be revealed by the independent investigator. Oh, yes. The good news is that I saw, I'm actually seeing it right now, a great spangled fritillary butterfly, the ones that as caterpillars feast on my violets and as adults feast on my phlox. uh, that one is number 110. And we just had a little bit of a pause during the hot weeks in the first half of July. And I'm hoping that I will start seeing them every day again. We had a little uptick in uh, swallowtails, in the eastern tiger swallowtails and the black swallowtails. And I'm hoping that we have another uptick in the great spangled fritillaries. Be sure to find places where you can grow flowers, even if you are simply ordering some violet seeds or columbine seeds or wildflower seeds and spreading them in some little corner where you might see them growing in a public space, or in your own garden, or ask a neighbor if you could stick in a couple of plants, an elderly neighbor or something. The other thing I suggest is grow in cemeteries. I happen to have, believe it or not, two satellite gardens. One at the local post office where there used to be weeds growing in a raised bed, and now there is an elderberry bush and a rugosa rose and a bunch of flowers, rudbeckias and columbines. And I also have nearby the cemetery where I walk almost every day And I have been permitted in a corner where it's surrounded, a sort of a triangle surrounded by three of the cemetery paved roads. I have been allowed to plant spring bulbs in there and peonies, and it's a tricky spot to garden because it's underneath some trees, and the trees kind of soak up all the moisture. But there are a few things I'm having successes with, and I really feel so good every time I walk by. So I think there are ways to foster enjoyment in nature and recover from nonsense, like this Alok crossdresser fellow and like Christopher Tyson crossdresser fellow. Thank you. We're at 2,300 subscribers now, and I think we're over 216,000 views in the life of my channel. Be well. Get outside.